Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to try out some Diablo 3. I'm just going to show you a few of the farming routes that I take. This is my monk. He's not very good, so I might die, but I'll try to edit out most of the bad parts. So anyways, here we go. We're going to change quest, and if you haven't done so already, make sure it's on Inferno difficulty, Breached Keep, and just begin quest. I put it on Monster Power when I'm by myself. Monster Power 2 seems to be pretty good, but you can base your own character's um, strengths off of whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. I really enjoy doing it this way because sometimes it's really hard to stay in a group, a consistent group, one that's not going to take you down. So, considering that you have played up to 60, you're working on Paragon levels, etc. I'm just going to wait for this to load up for a second. Sometimes when you first log in, or when I first log in, it tends to be just a little laggy. I don't know why. It clears up after a while, but it tends to be that way when you first start out, or when I first start out, as you can see. There it goes. Okay, so speak to Tyrael, and the demons are going to breach the keep. So this is just the breached keep. This is all I really ever do when I'm just trying to farm. It's simple. The dungeon structure is very linear, and it's easy to play whichever character you have. You know, and I imagine it works very well for all characters. So you go into the keep depths level 1. Another good thing about this, predictability is really key. So, all right. So, again, considering that you've been through this before, and your ability is keen. What's really cool right now, up through the 21st, if you are an avid Diablo player, is they have this buff. Happy anniversary, Diablo 3. Your magic find and experience gain are increased. I believe the website said 25%, so that's pretty freaking awesome. And it also allows you now, since the patch just came out, to have over the 300 cap. I believe previously there was a magic find cap, a 300% magic find cap. Moving right along then, I pick up all blue items. Contrary to what some people do, I know there's people out there that just literally just only pick up rares, the yellow ones. But I mean, we're in the spirit of making cash, because on the auction house you can buy a decent piece of gear, you know, for, well, what I consider decent, $1,000,000 gold. Sometimes less than that. A lot of the time less than that if you search long and hard enough, or you get lucky. So pick up all your blue items, everything, and you know, don't spend a whole lot of time looking at what your blue items are. Obviously, if you're playing on Inferno, you have some legendary or set items that are going to help you accomplish a lot. We can go ahead and take a look at my current gear setup. I go for a little bit of life steal. If you can look here, each hit adds 948 to life. And that is a really important thing because I hit a lot. You know, I hit a lot of, make a lot of strikes. This one also, not as much add to life, but what you're really looking for in your weaponry as a monk specifically, or even as a character who's just specifically trying to deal damage, they call them the big three: critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and increased attack speed are all very important. Looking at this one, I really like the increased damage against elites. That's a stat that not a whole lot of people look for, but I don't know. I think you're really going to be getting your good gear from those. Firewalkers are a very, I would say, a base level boot, if you will. And 12% movement speed, always good. Burn the ground you walk on, makes things a little more convenient, but doesn't really do much for damage or anything else. Obviously, I'm a monk, so the dexterity is my main stat. In his favor, is a cheap, easy belt to obtain. Critical hit chance is on there. Belts don't necessarily have a whole lot of critical hit chance or damage. You're going to be looking more for your rings. See critical hit damage increased by 31, and critical hit chance increased by 3.5. I also really like this ring because of the reduction in control impairing effects. Because it seems like every other elite pack is going to have a frozen in it, and if you get frozen, there's nothing that you can do. I mean, as a monk, I have about I think it's 3 seconds of absolute immunity to everything. But I mean, I can tell you, if you can get overwhelmed on any difficulty at any point in the game, that's kind of what makes it exciting. I really can't say much bad about this game, besides the fact that they took the skill tree out. A lot of people were disappointed with that. I was one of them. It really allowed you to vary your builds a lot more and define your character a lot more than just Googling monk builds or what have you. Try to stay away from white items, obviously. If you haven't figured that out by Inferno difficulty, I feel sorry for you. And I have made some upgrades to the computer, so hopefully I can tweak some of those settings to get these games to run more smoothly as I record them. Or what I can do is just try to narrate some of the gameplay. But to tell you the honest truth, when I'm in game, it's a lot easier to have these things at my leisure. To be quite honest with you, I've been busy. It is midterms week for school, so you can understand. I'm sure if you've ever known anybody who's in college, that makes it difficult to get content out. I really am surprised. I mean, honestly, with the results that I've gotten as far as the videos that I've been posting, I try to make it informative. I try to make it fun. Amnesia was a lot of fun. Games like that. Diablo 3, it's a lot better when you have cooperative people to play with, as I'd said before. But if we take a look at our skills, I'm just going to take you through a quick run of what I use, why I use it for the monk class. Fist of Thunder, it's great because of the Thunderclap rune that you can put on there. It says teleport to the target and release the electric shockwave with every punch. The important key here is the teleport to the target. If you're really not trying to die, and it's nice to be able to teleport past a bunch of lowly enemies that get you killed because you're being desecrated or what have you. So the teleport option is really nice for that. Sweeping Wind, it doesn't last very long, but while a vortex is at its maximum, every critical hit spawns a lightning tornado and electrocutes enemies. Cyclone, it does an incredible amount of damage when you finally get to the 3 stack on the Sweeping Wind. It's a lot more efficient when you're fighting big, gigantic mobs. I have it set as my left click because, like I said, it doesn't last very long, and sometimes you need it really, really fast. Serenity, the lifesaver. Even if it's just 3 seconds, it is 3 seconds to run away. And I think it's 5 increased with Ascension, increases duration of Serenity. It's important to have this. If you've never played on Inferno or any extra monster difficulties, Serenity is a lifesaver. There's only so much a potion can do. But if you push Serenity, you select Breath of Heaven, which also, Blazing Wrath, increases your damage. These things are really important. Increased damage, a little shot in the arm for health. That's all Breath of Heaven really is, besides, again, increasing the damage and attacks for a limited time. Not exactly sure the percentage on that, but If you really want to know the detailed specs, you can go look them up because things do change patch by patch. Blinding Flash, this is really just a control defensive skill. Really, it just is a Blinding Flash. And what's nice about the control aspect of this, also you have Faith in the Light. After using Blinding Flash, all your attacks deal extra damage for a limited time. We do that. We have Breath of Heaven. You stack those two, you do a significant more amount of damage combined with Sweeping Wind, all at the same time. Obviously, Mantra of Healing, we're talking resistances. Resistances are your lifesaver, as well as Serenity. Like I had said earlier, I repeated myself, lifesaver. But Mantra of Healing, resistances. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of people think they're just going to get in here, they stack enough damage, all of a sudden it's just going to be you're going to be dying left and right, and people aren't going to want to run with you because they're going to have to run back and res your ass every time you go down. I've experienced it. It sucks. So resistances are the name of the game. You will typically notice an item increase in value based off of its resistances. 75 to 80. I believe 80 is the cap for any given item. So I will stress that again, resistances. Even if you don't do a lot of damage, it does not matter. One of my particular sayings is, it doesn't matter how much damage you do if you aren't alive enough to do it. Or something that you understand what I'm saying. Anyways, moving along, Resolve. Damage you deal reduces enemy damage by 20%. Now, think about that. Every time I hit a lot. I hit a bunch. I hit probably twice, 3 times a second on a good day. So I'm reducing the damage that they're doing to me as I'm damaging them. You can't go wrong. One with everything. As soon as you unlock this, put it on. It will save you. It will take care of you. It is my overall favorite one. My favorite passive skill. Now, resistance to all elements, and again, I'll just leave it to the previous statement that resistances are important. Seize the initiative. Your armor is increased by 50%. Again, I'm not trying to turn myself into a tank, but I'd rather be able to survive than do damage. So, beyond all that, we can take a look at the rest of my gear. I just really, I couldn't tell you by name what I have. I mean, I couldn't just like name it off the back of my head. So, but what you do notice about all of my gear is it has pretty standard and pretty consistent stats. So attack speed, resistances, great for gloves. I added vitality because, well, I needed a larger life pool. You're going to have to supplement, and it's nice to have these open slots for gems. You're going to have to supplement your gem slots with gems that in stats that you are lacking. The details button. I've played with some people who have never clicked this. If you look here, your most important stats are really right up here, besides your resistances. Now, the monk is great because of this very one trait, and that is you allow any one of your highest resistances to even out the rest of them. You see how they're all at 447? That's because my highest resistance is 447, so it puts them all at 447. Damage reduction, 63% is a pretty good damage reduction number by my calculations. Dodge, you can't dodge desecration, electricity, things like that, so I don't suggest focusing on dodge. Block being the same as far as this is for the monk class. And then we see a crowd control reduction, missile damage reduction. We're talking about resistances and reductions here, not taking as much damage. It makes the game easier to play and makes you have a lot better time when you play with your friends. Life, obviously, important. Resource, maximum spirit. Obviously, I am a monk, so monks are the only class that use spirit. Movement speed, 12%, obviously because of the boots. Gold find, not as important as magic find. It's been stated that your magic find, you want it between 200 and 300% if you want to have a consistent legendary drop rate. I have found probably a couple dozen legendaries since I've been playing this game that weren't very good. I found a couple, and you will find them, and they call it a roll for a reason, because every time you identify an item, you're going to look at its item level. Down at the bottom left corner, just above sell value, item level 63. 63 is the highest item level and will allow you to roll the best stats. Not saying that a 63 item is going to always be better than a 62 or a 61 or below, but you will typically have better stats on a 63, however, they may not be the right stats. Well, this has been Kyle, playing Diablo 3. This is just a little run through, just showing you a little bit of farming and about the monk character, how I play it. If you have any comments, suggestions, please leave them below, as well as like and comment, or like and share if you do enjoy the content that I'm putting out. You guys are great. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to doing the next video. Have a great day.